So you did manage to hand the letter in. That's amazing. Can you tell us all about it?
Yes, so it's a letter. So basically, we're campaigning. We own it alongside Windrush Against Sewage Pollution, Feargal Sharkey. So lots of different groups are all campaigning for public ownership of water.
Well, wait, you say a lot of different groups. Can you name some of them?
I can name those. I won't name all of them now because it's quite a long list. But there are some groups in which we're included, which are campaigning for public ownership of water. And so Windrush Against Sewage Pollution, who you might have seen in Dirty Business campaigners, they recently started a petition saying we need a referendum to bring water into public ownership. And the government responded to that petition by saying we can't do public ownership of water, it will take too long and be too complex, and while we're doing that, we risk harming our rivers and seas and causing more pollution.
And it's a Labour government saying that.
It's a Labour government saying that.
How do you feel about that?
I imagine a lot of people, including me, feel a sense of betrayal, considering that leaders. Keir Starmer was elected as a Labour leader on the basis of bringing utilities into common ownership. I think it was called in his pledge. It's a Labour government that should be kind of thinking about the interests of the public, not profit. Yet that we're seeing exactly the opposite on their water policy. So basically they came back with this response to the petition, and Windrush Against Sewage Pollution, Ash and Peter thought, do you know what, that's not true. We're getting the public told these things about public ownership of water which just aren't true. Actually, public ownership of water is affordable, we can afford it, and in fact it will cut bills for bill payers. Public ownership of water is better for the environment. Better for the environment because it means you're investing in the infrastructure that keeps sewage out of our rivers and seas, and it doesn't have to be too long and too complex. Right now, the government are passing emergency legislation for nationalisation of British Steel. Why can't we do exactly the same for water? We could pass that legislation in a matter of days. Instead, we're being told it's too long and too complex. So all of those things aren't true. So we thought we'd turn up today, set the record straight. The public, we pay huge amounts for our water bills. We deserve to know the truth about the ownership of our water system, who benefits from it and who suffers. So we turned up and we handed in our letter to say this is the truth about public ownership of water.
So you had Jenny Jones, you've mentioned. Anybody else?
Jenny Jones, we had Ash and Peter from Windrush Against Sewage Pollution, also of Dirty Business fame, and we had Feargal Sharkey come as well to hand in.
So they were quite impressed in there by that lineup, is that true?
It is quite an impressive lineup. I think they managed to get there. Initially we were told that the letter couldn't be handed in, which I think speaks volumes. Here's many members of the public that are so angry that they've taken time out of their day to come down, stand up, when we all could be doing nicer things. It's nice weather right now, it could be, having lunch in the park or relaxing instead. People feel so strongly about it that they're here instead protesting. Government should know what the public think and be taking that into account. So initially they didn't want to accept the letter, they didn't want to take the public's views into account, but after some convincing and discussions between Ash, Peter, Feargal, Jenny, and with the support of all the wonderful protesters who turned up.
How many people were there?
I would estimate I'm terrible with numbers, I would estimate upwards of 50, 60,
That's
70.
pretty good. That's quite a lot. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good number, yeah.
What effect do you think the letter might have?
I hope that it prompts government to see that the public are just not buying what they're putting out about the reasons we can't have publicly owned water, and it's all about, I think, shifting the window of possibility. We're showing the strength of feeling around publicly owned water. We're showing that people aren't simply going to accept it when we're told that it's too complicated or too expensive, and that actually we're not going to rest, we're not going to stop until we get what's in the public interest, which is public ownership of water.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. The Great British Home Office. This is it.